Man, my name Righteous. Um, Up and coming artist. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, South Minneapolis, Minnesota to be exact, South Side.
Right.
Um, right now they got the George Floyd, which is known as like right now the George Floyd area, George Floyd Square. That's the neighborhood
Right.
I come from, neighborhood I grew up in. I currently live in ATL. Well, I live in ATL, but now I live in South Carolina. So,
How you like it in South Carolina, man?
man, South Carolina peaceful. To say the least, peaceful.
Really?
Peaceful is peaceful. Can't ask for more than that.
Is it a lot of racism?
To be honest, coming from Minnesota, I always tell people this and they be baffled. I always say like, they be like, "Oh, you in the South now? Is it more racist?" I say it's racist, but it's in a way like they still kind of segregated. So it's like if you in the inner cities or whatever southern state you in, you ain't gonna be around nothing but black people, a few white people, and Mexicans. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Once you start going out into like the little towns of these southern states, that's where the rednecks and they be put up in these little towns where they don't
Mm,
necessarily have to leave because they have their own everything in their little town. So they don't necessarily leave them little towns and come to the inner cities to prey on black people. Whereas being from Minneapolis, Minnesota, it's like it's predominantly white. So
mm.
so if you're not really in Minneapolis or St. Paul, outside of that, you really not gonna see no black people. But we still outnumbered in our cities. So it's like
Right.
the racism is like every day in your face, but they always try to be sneaky. Got this thing they call Minnesota nice. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like the white people will smile in your face, but plot on you behind your back.
Bracket.
So
What's
it's
up,
like
E?
I
What's
like I
cracking?
like
What it do?
I like in your face racism. I like a person to be like, "Hey, I don't like you for whatever reason. You could be you don't have to like me. You could be like,
Right.
hey, I don't like you because you black. All right, let that be known then, so we know where we stand. And that's why I take from the South. The South is more like, all right, we don't like you niggas. We gonna stay away from you niggas, but don't come over here where we at, cause we might get on some shit. And that's how you hear like little stories like the dude and Braves. What was like Ahmad Berry, whatever. He got killed by the white dudes. He was just
Yeah.
jogging through. He was just jogging through the white neighborhood or whatever, and people be
Yeah.
like, "Damn, we can't live wherever we want." It's just like that. They be straight up though. So if you go into them areas, you do got to be cautious, cause shit, they let it be known. It's like it's like gang banging. It's just the same thing, just with the race. It's like, all right, they stay in the territory, we in our territory, but we
Right.
got in it, but we got inner turmoil in our territory, so we want to move out of our territories to go and get some type of peace.
And I'm seeing a lot more crazy things. When you look online, you see people attacking black people for different things and saying different kind of shit like that. I think it's crazy, because I've been to the South a couple places. I've been to Mississippi and some shit, and I was shocked. It was a culture shock because it was like people say, "Oh, you can't say to this, you can't speak too many times," or I was like, "Fuck all that, G. I'm not with all that motherfucking shit." But it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But let me ask you, Louis, is it like that in the Lou?
I mean, not really. Like as far as my experiences growing up, I've seen and experienced racism, but it's never like it wasn't heavy. Like you know what I'm saying? It's some whites, Caucasians, whatever you want to call them. There's some up here that love niggas. Like it may even go back to them days where they might have seen they people treat niggas a certain way, but it's some white folks up here that love them some niggas, bro. They love niggas. And even for the ones that, as far as the black community and however we get down, it's some
Right.
that really want to come and get a taste of what we know and how we get down out here. But that shit's real, like in certain areas in Louisville, I'm not gonna say you experience it too much because it's more like city shit. Now outside counties, like motherfucking what Oldham County and like all that shit like that,
Right.
they don't fucks with us. I mean, like it's different out there. It's different out there. Like the only place other than I know in Kentucky than Louisville where I feel comfortable around black people is Hopkinsville, Kentucky. That a nigga can dig their history up on Hopkinsville, Kentucky, like with the chitlin circuit, and my uncle had to put me up on that shit. But as far as the Lou up here, you will witness it, but not too much. Like it's not big. Now outside of Louisville, anywhere else in Kentucky and them side counties, yeah. And really, we right over here, like the bridge to Indiana's right there.
Wow.
That's hey, that's mixing, but. Some people from Indiana love to come over here to the Lou. The only thing about the Lou when it comes to Kentucky is the fact that we're like city. We're the only like city. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, outside of that shit, you'll get them looks, some motherfuckers, but you got white people that's tired of white people shit. So,
I understand.
They go back to some white people that love niggas. And personally, if you a black person or nigga, whatever you want to consider yourself, with good character, I feel that speaks anyway. But you can't stop ignorance no matter where it's at. You feel me?
No, you right. You right.
No matter
I
where
want to add another reason why the racism is different in the South than the North, from my experiences. It's the gun law, the laws down here. Even though they design really to help white people, they in turn help black people. So it's like every nigga down here got guns legally because you don't have to go through the loopholes like Minneapolis, Minnesota to get a gun and to legally get a gun. First, you can't be on the gang books, you can't be a felon, you can't be a part of no. You know what I'm saying? They can really choose if they really want to, but they say can't be in the gang book, can't be a felon, all that type of shit. But then you got to get a permit to purchase. The first thing you do, you got to get a permit to purchase. They could deny you from that off bat. So if they deny you from a permit to purchase, you can't even. Then that's just a no go. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in the South, they just like, hey, you're not a felon. You 21. Go you can just go buy one. You ain't even got to get the permit because they just made it open carry. They just made it open carry. So it's like,
need permits no more. That shit
you just gotta be 21. So like that show. When I come from Minneapolis, like the crime rate high up there. Like right now, it's been 7 murders in the last 7 days. You know what I'm saying? And what I tell people about, like, they be like, living in Atlanta, the crime, it got a little shit that go on in Atlanta. Even more so now because it's a mixing pot. Like you got niggas that's from different states and shit moving over there. Like you got different gangs and you got Crips, Bloods that's going over there. They rivals, so they spot each other and get it on. And that's what really kind of bringing up the rate in Atlanta. It's not really too much of the homegrown niggas. It's niggas that's not from there, seeing their oppositions and like, hey, we don't give a fuck if we, where it shouldn't even be like that. But, Minneapolis, the crime rate is not the same as like Atlanta. We ride so low in the South. Every nigga got a gun. You're not finna run up and the nigga beat that murder. I just seen a video. South Carolina, Greenwood, South Carolina. It's a tape going around. A nigga, I don't know if it was viral. There was a video, dude in the club. This club called Cream. The dude whispering, they having some words back and forth. He must say, I'm finna beat your ass or something. And dude told him, like, I ain't worried about none of that. I'm gonna pop you. Dude took off on him 2 times. He ain't swing back. He popped him. He not in jail. He at home.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. You like see in Minneapolis, like you can't. A lot of people can't have no guns. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta sneak it around and niggas ain't. You know what I'm saying? You run up on somebody in the South, they gonna blow you down, and they gonna go home about it. Because even a verbal threat down here can get you shot and legally. Like you can't walk to somebody like, nigga, I'll smoke you or anything like that. Your life's in danger from that moment on. Your life's in danger. And then you can do whatever you can do from there. But that's what keeps the racism low too, because white people not just eager to come because they know niggas is armed and know niggas is armed legally, and the law that they made, for that self-defense to try to get them off of shit that they push for, it in turn helps the black people down here because they can use that in the same rights. And another difference is definitely ownership, land ownership. In the South, living, how they try to teach me as a kid from living the North to South. They always say the South was worse. South was so much worse. It's racism. The black people down there is just basically under siege and shit. But when I got down here, this the first time when came to the South, I've never seen black judges, black lawyers, black people that own land,
Right.
own acres of land. Like I met a man, he owned acres of land. His whole family lived on them acres. They got a whole section. I never seen that type of stuff until I moved to the South. See, up north, ain't nobody owning homes, let alone land. We barely got businesses, you know, and that type of stuff. That's the type of shit that keeps us back. And I tell everybody, like, that's what me makes the racism way much worse up north, because they plot and they integrate it into their systems of how they live from everyday living.
Right. Right.
But you forced to live in that system, but under siege. So it's like, damn, I gotta work with the whites. I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? But I still can't amass no power. I still can't own nothing. You know, they just recently in Minneapolis and Minnesota, they called out, they did a big investigation, probably like 2017, where they were discovering how all the owners of houses and land and stuff, they would write clauses in they contracts to other people, like you can't sell to black people. Like if you can't sell to black people. And I experienced that down here in the South. One day I do the wholesaling. So I'm messing with a client and he's a white guy and he's like in a little, like I say, them outskirt towns in South Carolina. He's in the outskirt town, and he came. He's an older guy, way about in his 60s, mid 60s. He told us straight up, like, look, now I kind of want to keep this area how it is. It's white. I dropped the contract, of course.
Tell me that, bro.
Yeah, I dropped that contract like a bad habit. He called me so many times after that, and ended up trying to change his mind. But it's just like that. I always tell people, like, this world ain't changed too much. It's dressed up a little differently. The only thing that's really changed about it is they're not able to do black people the way they got to sneak around it and make up all these little barricades to do the stuff. Whereas back in the day, they could straight out do it. I always tell people, it's like our generations, I say for the last, starting like the generations that started the gang banging eras, we come from murder. We come from murder. We come from killing each other and all of that stuff.
Right.
So when it comes in turn to like a civil war, with like the people that predate us, they didn't do a lot of killing of each other or even went through that. So like the Black Panthers, and on down, they were getting attacked by whites, but they was more still like, all right, we trying to do this without really having to do what they do to us.
Right.
Our generations, they can't do that with our generations because our generation don't give a fuck. We already show we don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck about each other that much.
That's fine, nigga. I'm only 27 though, especially mine. They ain't respecting nothing.
Especially, like I say, man, it's a point, like, and that's like a double-edged sword too. How we come from murder, where it would benefit us in this white supremacy stuff if we could change it around on some like, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's 100,000 Bloods, 100,000 Crips, 100,000 Gangster Disciples, Vice Lords, Blackstones, all that. We our own army. We got the money and all that stuff. We got thousands of millionaires. We got a couple billionaires. We got people. We got judges, lawyers, doctors, all that stuff. The only thing that's missing from black people truly achieving getting out of this white supremacy stuff is unification of our soldiers. See, we could unify and make money. We could unify and make money all day. You got Bloods and Crips. You get, even in California, you got Bloods and Crips sets that fuck with each other, off the cars they in, but you got Bloods and Crips sets that fuck with each other, making money with the dispensaries, with the food, even with the entertainment now. You know what I'm saying? So we know we can unify on some, but I think like when people think, everybody with the deaths, when you get to really think about with the deaths, it's called like ain't no turning back from death. Some people won't turn, but that's the true and only way we can achieve, true freedom is unification of our soldiers, to where it's not, and everybody presents an option like, oh, we just stop representing all we represent. I'm like, that doesn't take that. We could represent all we represent and be different nations, but we could come together when it's time to, like, I'll use that movie, I was telling you, Black Panther.
Right.
Black Panther, how they got the tribes, and they don't necessarily get along with each other or like each other.
They don't mask, but they don't tear each other down either.
but they don't tear each other down for the bigger picture because they know it's far greater enemies that will team up just to get them. And that's how it's been done to us throughout history. Throughout history, it's been done to us just that way. They let us bicker. We arguing over who's gonna be the pharaoh, who's gonna be the king, who's gonna be the top dog. Then they coming in as groups and snatch and snatch and snatch and snatch. And they do it to this day.
And one thing I'm gonna say, you know, it's funny that you brought that up because I was just talking to my big homie, Bad Luck, and we were talking about the mannerisms, about how you handle your day to day and how you address certain things. See, we have a problem where we don't address people as human beings. We always turned up. We always trying to go, no matter what the situation is. We don't give a damn. But you got homies that won't see eye to eye with you because you want to do positive. And during your mannerisms, you might just be on some humble shit, but they turned up. But a lot of people look at the mannerism. That's why the young homies, we try to tell the young homies today, check your mannerisms because something that's small can turn big, and you ain't even have to be in that kind of shit because it's a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I understand how it is. You know what I'm saying? How are both of y'all?
I'm
I'm
27,
30.
big.
I'm
27, gang.
32.
Okay.
I'm
So
32.
we already we get the whole, trying to make sure that everything going good, and keep pushing y'all line, but let me ask y'all something when I'm talking about mannerisms again.
Right.
There's I don't know if y'all heard of the cat, it's a couple of them. You got the Kevin Samuels of the world that tell black women, okay, you're not this, you need to go do that. Then you got Charleston White dissing everybody in the world. What do you think about those kind of cats?
I
My
personally
God.
feel like certain point of views can be good, even a statement. It's just how you deliver it. You know what I'm saying? It's how you
Right.
deliver it. Even if I feel like you gotta give it to a motherfucking fish gut raw, like it only is what it is at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But character and the way you go about things are different. You know what I'm saying? That's just like versus you screaming, then you talking calmly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And still, it does depend on how that other person is gonna undertake it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I feel it's both a flip side thing, but still, at the end of the day, when you present something, you have to come correct the same way you would want somebody to come to you with it. You know what I'm saying? And if not even that, everybody can't handle the way you may take it or perceive it. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta work. You gotta work with yourself, man, and knowing the flip sides of how you talk, how you walk it, what you do, what you show. You know, it's about character, man. At the end of the day, so that's what I can say. Like your point of view can be good, and I don't feel it sometimes about being right or wrong. Sometimes some shit just got to be said and need to be just presented. But still, it's the way you present it. And sometimes you might catch a motherfucker on the wrong day. I don't, but
I understand, but it's mannerism.
Still,
I feel it.
self-check, man. Self-check. You gotta self-check yourself. You can't be. One thing, my biggest pet peeve with people, and we all human, we not perfect, but when you can be just stubborn in your own opinion, and ain't nothing wrong with sticking to your guns. You know what I'm saying? I feel you have to, and that's what makes you if you truly yourself.
Exactly.
But to be stubborn in your own opinions, own thoughts, to not see things a different way, or even a flip side, or even understand where other people come from how you present it. But that's what I feel it's about at the end of the day.
I feel like the two like them Charleston Whites and Kevin Samuels type dudes. They got the Kevin Samuels be like I look at him like part entertainment, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He tell people the truth. Some people just can't handle the raw truth. As far as like I see what Charleston White doing or whatever, he got some points in what he say, but he comes off very disrespectful. You don't have to disrespect in order to make your point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I don't consider myself an active gangbanger. I don't be out banging on gangs, but a person can't be on like disrespecting what I am. So you trying to get to a point with me and you call me an ob, I just don't like You on there, saying all of that stuff. How you supposed to make a point? You got to show respect to get some respect. You can't force an ideal on nobody, even if your ideal is the right ideal. You can't force it on somebody because I know some of my young homies. This is all they know. They ain't been nowhere. They ain't went outside of that or nothing like that. So I can't. So when I go and talk to them about some positive stuff, I don't never come at them on the talking down like you niggas is worthless or I be like, look, because I understand. I was a part of it. I can't be out here acting like I just the saint or something, or I'm just always been a Malcolm X type of dude or anything like that. I understand it fully. I understand what they're going through. I understand the pressures of it. I understand what excites them about it. The same shit that excited me about it. You know what I'm saying? I understand how you catch them, how you get caught when you 14, 13, in the life just growing up and wanting to be around a brotherhood of people and then it involves other things. But what I always try to explain to young homies when I'm trying to get them out some positive or even talk to them about some positive stuff. Because I don't know if I'm going to reach them or not. But I know if I don't say nothing, then I can never say I can never say I said nothing. At the end of the day, like, my thing is you might not turn it. It's so hard with this stuff because we all lose and we all feel a certain way in a different way. Like we might lose a homie and I might feel like, all right, damn, well, I don't want to take it further because more deaths is more deaths. But the young homies, they turn. They like, man, we don't give a fuck about that. Somebody got to feel how I feel. Somebody got to feel this pain that I feel. I need to transfer this energy to somebody, and
right.
But how long do we go? But how long do we?
That's
Same thing you tell me all the time, big bro. Like when do we? Somebody gotta put gotta do.
And honestly, it gotta be a active top ranked dude that's gotta put a stop to it. It can't because they look at anybody else. They look at even the young people. They might respect a lot of the older homies, but they still look at it like, all right, we end this. I can't put this down right now. You older and you've grown and y'all gotten a better mind frame. Even some of the oppositions got a better mind frame. But right now we in the ignorance. So it's like how you get these young dudes to come out the ignorance. I thought of so many ideas. Like when the George Floyd happened, I talked to the police chief when I was up there doing the security detail. I told this man, I gave an idea. I said, instead of y'all rounding up these gangs and just throwing them in a slammer, y'all just how y'all come beat us up in the hood and drop us off in other hoods and do all that shit and think y'all helping. If y'all really want to help, gather all these gang members up. These people that say they don't like each other, y'all they ain't gonna have no guns with y'all. Take them and make their ass box. Do it every time. Do it every time.
Men should do that themselves, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do that ourselves.
We just not. Sometimes
we need some force.
Bullshit, man.
Yeah, don't nobody do. A lot of people don't.
Bullshit, man. Like,
a lot of people don't.
A lot of bullshit.
Well, let me go like this then. What I learned, coming up in this blood shit and doing so much shit for it, I learned that you have to respect your elders. And your elders teach you things when you coming up. I understand the young homies don't have no respect because they see the big homies not doing too well. They ain't got the money like they supposed to. They think that they nobodies.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they're the reason that you able to walk that street.
Exactly.
They're the reason that you doing what you doing. When you had to learn how to fight, you had to fight by yourself. But they told you, this is what you're supposed to do. Keep your hands up. Watch out for this. They laced your boots on that kind of stuff. And I try to tell the little homies, and especially, the homies that's not there in the land, keep your mannerisms, keep it solid, because I'm gonna tell you something. There's always somebody out there that's going to try to test you no matter what you do, no matter what you say. It's always going to be somebody jealous, envious, They're always gonna have hatred.
No matter where
They
you
never
from.
gonna give you the time of day because they're not doing good for themselves. So what
Yep.
I tell the little homies is always think about the community and never down talk the homies to another person. Or if you got an issue with the homie, why don't you just pull the homie to the side and say, hey G, I don't like that shit, what you did.
Yes.
And we can handle it different. But nowadays, a motherfucker quick to downplay you and put it out to the whole world, and a motherfucker just a gun you
Exactly.
down just because of that reason.
Just
Exactly. And I say
motherfuckers
that
trying
too.
to
A lot
build
of
names
embarrassment
off
with the
themselves,
internet.
man. A lot
Yeah,
of shit now it's bigger than a name, man. And I just speak. I feel from
We
younger
live in a clout
generations.
era.
yeah.
It's just big. It's just bigger than a name, man. It's just bigger than just your image. It's bigger. I feel now like y'all generation was way different. Like you say, the homies y'all try to learn from is, and we can't necessarily take y'all era because for what it was, and it was that, you know what I'm saying? And this is a whole different, ball game now, man. Like
Yeah.
I personally don't see a motherfucker getting away with nothing in 2021, like, and not even on that tip. So we gotta switch up this whole, like, we gotta turn this shit into a positive, man. And I
It's
just like that's like you say, the representation, man. We never gotta stop the
And
representation. We
and
still
and,
gotta do
and, and then
whatever
it's
we want
sad.
about it.
It's you're right, and it's really sad. I'm gonna tell you something else, man. What killed me the most? Date whoever you want to date, you know. But at the end of the day, we gotta quit downplaying our sisters.
Yes, sir.
Even
exactly.
even when they get on your goddamn nerves or they talking up your neck, whatever it is, you can't do that.
Nah.
Because you know what? We look bad as a people already. And a lot of
Already.
times, man, like I had a little homie, I hate to put him on blast. He said, man, I'm sick and tired of these black hoes, these black bitches. I'm like, look, man, it's the person you choose. You choosing
Exactly.
the wrong kind of person. You looking at all these IG models, they women, but they're not the type of women that you want to take to your mama. They're not the kind of woman that you want to take around your family. You know what I'm saying? Because the only thing on their mind is showing their ass
Yeah.
Right.
and they looks. But you know what? I respect, you know what I'm saying, a man that stand on his own 2 feet. What I hate is a motherfucker that wait on everybody to get it, then ask.
Straight up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But you know, we just gotta stop doing that, man. And but let me ask y'all this, man. Is it harder out there where you guys are at, where you guys get along with other brothers because you know it's a lot of murders where you're at, and it'd be like, is it over? What is it over the cloud? You know, because it's all over the
It's
internet.
it's
Man.
over clout.
Man,
I'll be the
go
first
keep
to
it.
say like Minneapolis, Minnesota. Like I could truly say this because our with our gang histories and shit like that, like we got every gang. We got all the West Coast gangs in our state, and we got all the Midwest gangs in our state. So we got the Bloods, the Crips, we got the Vice Lords, the GDs, the Black Disciples, the Black Stones, the Latin Kings, Sir 13. We pretty much got everything. So it's like growing up, but growing we so it's a small city. So when you grow up, you know everybody. You know what I'm saying? You like I knew
Inner city.
everybody,
Inner
and
city.
all of this stuff that's now didn't exist before my senior year in high school. So a lot of this stuff came when I was like gang banging and at 12, 13 and stuff like that. A lot of the other cliques and stuff they didn't exist. It was really Bloods, the our opposition, which was like some little cliques around there. You had some Crips, they was on the other parts of town, and then you had Vice Lords, GDs, and some Blackstones because we close to Chicago. So a lot of people from Chicago migrate to Minneapolis. Um, so when it's like it's over clout, it's not really. Once I seen it start, I've seen a lot of the stuff start that's really spilling into the murders now with the city, the Minneapolis is going on, all the murder stuff. It's over clout. We don't do it for territory. We don't go. We don't be like, all right, we finna get rid of these niggas and take that's our hood now. We don't do it. Once I like realize like, damn, we really doing this on some, we jealous of other niggas. Because when you think of the mind frame, you think of a nigga be like, you want to get down on a nigga, be like, it's not because niggas really had a personal issue. It's because you didn't like what he was representing. Niggas might see each other at a party. Niggas might be getting too hyped in the party, and nigga be like, man, that nigga acting like he the shit. Who these niggas think they is?
Right.
And it might be because your homegirl threw the party, but you don't know your homegirl. These niggas homegirl too. And she invite all you. So now but you want to make a, we want to make a macho problem out of that's where, and I really say a lot of the decisions, like I made a post on Facebook. I said, decision that as kids come with a lifetime of prices because we make these decisions as kids. We don't make these decisions when we 20, 25. We make these decisions 12, 13. Make lifelong decisions at 12, 13. And we tell ourselves right then and there, we won't grow. I'm in this for life. We cut ourselves right at there. Like, we tell ourselves right at 12, 13. I ain't growing. I'm going to be a blood for life. I'm with this shit for life.
That's right.
But then life hits your ass. And
Exactly.
life tell you, is either you going to change or be changed.
That's right.
You can choose one.
Straight up.
And we grow up. That's why when we get to 25, you see, and the younger homies, they see us in our active stages. They kids seeing us in our active stages. But then when they get to their active stages, we beyond the active stages. We trying to get money now because life hitting you. When you 12, 13, gang banging, and you don't have to worry about bills. You ain't worry about that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now you got the hustling because we all come from poverty too, so we want to get some money. But at the same time, that's not our first priority. Our first priority is banging for the set. Oh, we trying to go meet up with the homies after school. We trying to go get into some shit. You know what I'm saying? And once life hits you, when you can't depend on your parents no more, well, you gotta get some money. And we all know you can't hustle where it's hot. So you trying to make a way where you can get some money, but you can't. If you can hustle at all, or whatever you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? You want like some niggas. I know a lot of my homies didn't get jobs because they didn't want to be sitting ducks, because our city's small. So be like, man, why I get a job and nigga be right there at the job? But it's like once that life hits you, you got to get some money. So you can't be as active because you can't. It's two different worlds. Hustling and banging is two different worlds, and we try to make them connect, but it never connects because the violence brings bullshit, and the bullshit stops you from making your bread.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you all this. Why is it that when we from the set, we can't bury our homies? Why is it when we gang banging and doing all this shit, we don't have a fund to put towards a homie death that gets smoked?
Something. Either
we don't be thinking. We don't be thinking. We don't be thinking. I just had a conversation yesterday actually, where I was like, why don't none of the gangbangers know medical procedures? You see so many instances of people getting shot. They homies just gather around them, move back, somebody call an ambulance. You don't see nobody putting pressure to stop the bleeding. You don't see nobody, I seen a person get killed at a gas station. If you knowledgeable enough, a gas station got everything in there to stabilize you until you can get on an ambulance or a hospital. If you know, we lack a lot of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? We go off a lot of bronze, just bronze and not a lot of brains, because and we don't have medical training. We don't know what to do when somebody gets shot. You know what I'm saying? We're not really strategic with the gang banging as far as outside of the violence. We get really strategic with that, how to plot on the nigga and get a nigga. But we don't know how to save each other. We don't know how to come together and save with the money. We don't even, like you say, we don't put together pots and be like, all right, this is the bail pot. So if a homie get bumped, we got the bail. This is the lawyer pot. So if the homie need a lawyer, we digging in this pot. We got to contribute to this pot every week, every month, however y'all want to do it. But we need to, we don't really, we go off the brotherhood, but we don't really get into the brotherhood of taking care of each other.
Trust and motherfuckers stuck in their ways, dog. It's the whole everybody got their own lives and shit.
And with the commercializing of it, it's really gotten bad. Like I remember when I was in high school when Lil Wayne got the really kind of, Lil Wayne gang came out, all that stuff. And so it's like when they commercialize these people's, they see me now, knowing that I'll be like, oh, Sue Woo, what's it? All this stuff. I used to get mad. I don't like it's mockery me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't mock me. I didn't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, don't mock me. You shouldn't say that. You don't know nothing about this. But it's been commercialized. So when it's been commercialized and pushed to the kids as a fad, it becomes way worse. So now you got people like, oh, it's cool to be a blood. Oh, that's the cool thing to do. Where historically, you like even where I'm from, because I know about it in the land. The Bloods is outnumbered. Where I'm from, Minneapolis, we're outnumbered. We're small. The Rolling 30s, we're small. We're surrounded by all our opposition. So to be us, you have to be on go. That's why I be so aggressive. I think partly why Bloods are so aggressive because we're always surrounded by our enemies,
No,
and
that's true. That's true.
we have to. So when we
Over
go around
here,
cities,
I'm right here. I'm in that.
yeah,
Right.
we have to be aggressive, and so when I see like the commercialization, they did it with the Crips first. They commercialized the Crips first. They had it strategically laid out. They commercialized the Crips first. What they did with Snoop, what they did with Ice, Ice Cube wasn't a Crip, but they try to make it seem like he was a part of the affiliation when he wasn't.
Right.
But they did that. Had like like they said with Fat Joe, he was like in that song Lean Back. He was like B2K Crip walking like that's
Walking
what's
like
up.
this.
Right.
Like
Right.
I was just watching the video, genuine Crip walking. I'm like that, like it was like him and the old video with him and Puff Daddy in it. But it's just like the commercialization of this stuff has really took it to new heights that we can't control. Now you got people might pop up in a different area that Blood never been to. Be like, we the Bloods now. We just gonna start this without having no knowledge, without having no history, without having even no people from the land to usher their faction in. Same thing
And
with it's just all of that commercialization is really making a big problem mixed with
right.
the social
Right.
media.
Right. Right.
As far as when it comes to the getting along though, like up here in the Ville, like my city's so rooted on like at the beginning, like as far as going into the 70s and the 80s days and all that, like that's when that shit I could say was more so clicking like that as far as when the red on blue shit really like got down up here. But when niggas come to getting along or even not getting along, some shit really be over real spilled blood, man. And we so oriented on messing with our peoples, like them from the east can be your cousins from the west, but that ain't finna matter right now. Like that ain't finna matter. They
Right.
like we finna go do this. You know what I'm saying? Or really sometimes niggas just don't know because they don't go out of they areas, or we just don't mingle over there. We don't mingle over there. But if people, and of course, like it started the same way from y'all days, school, football. So niggas grow up and do what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And from where they from. But like I say, at the end of the day, it boils down to character. Because me personally, the way I am and how I get down, I feel like before a motherfucker want to prime with me, you gonna respect my pedigree and how I'm coming with this. You know what I'm saying? Like regardless of what it is, whether it's you heard me or just character shit, period. So I feel I've always been able to handle myself well through getting along with no matter if they bang this from over here, this race, that race. It's all about respect with me, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. And of course you got the ignorant people from wherever they gonna do it want to be on. But if it get there, it get there. If it don't, it don't. And like I
Yeah,
personally like my homie. He's damn near like my twin. Like we from right up the street from each other, same number line and all that. But
Right.
he's from the blue turf.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my street, like I'm connected with them regardless, But it ain't really like an active neighborhood where you see niggas repping they set. But once you go up the block, it's kind of different. You notice, hey, ain't nobody over here doing that. Ain't nobody over here doing that. No, you can't do that over here.
I feel you on that because I got
But,
friends close,
okay,
what I consider family from different sets. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
in Minneapolis, I think the biggest crib set up there is the Shotgun Cribs.
Okay.
And my home girl, like a sister to me, her older brothers, God rest their souls, they ran it for the Shotgun Crips. So her house was always like the meetup spot. All the Crips would be there. But I'm from, we met each other through school, and we started doing music together. And then her mom's cool. They became like my family. So I'm always over there. But the Crips that's their meetup spot. So I met all the OG Crips, met all the OG Shotguns up there. The young ones even had a few problems, with a couple ignorant people and all of that. But it's just like, it do be different ties, mainly because in Minneapolis, it's family based. So it's like everybody, before the gangs came up there, like they had to come to us. Like we didn't just get, so before the disciples and the vice lords came before the Bloods and Crips came. Everybody was cool and kind of like family orientated. You go off your last
Right,
name.
right.
You be like these last names mess with each other. These last names mess with each other. They brought the gang influence up there. Then it kind of split. Like all right, then the families became the gangs and stuff like that. So now, of course, they all kids, so they get into it and stuff and split up down the line where they make different gangs and split off and all. Now they beefing and all that. Then their children grow up with the same inheritance, but
Right.
we be kids, so we be going to the same schools, parks, and all that stuff. We get cool, but our peoples is from opposite sides. Then we grow up and we choose with our people. Then we become
Right.
enemies, even though we was cool as kids and all of
Right.
that
Right,
shit. But
right.
now we got to this part like, all right, it's choosing up. What I'm saying, I got blood family members like they same blood that's from my rival set. What I'm saying? I got other ones that's on the north side part time because north side got their own different type of gangs and cliques and stuff over there.
Right.
Well, it's really clique based over north. So like on the south side,
A lot of
in
shit
all
is city.
honesty, in
Mm.
Minneapolis, I would say the Bloods is the only gang that's all the same thing. Like we the only gang that doesn't. We don't have any other. There's not a Crip and like so. It's not a clique based thing. We a whole gang. So where you go over like North, or even our counterparts, they're not a gang that's all the same. They cliques. They have different gangs. They're a clique. They call it a clique name, and then they be like they have GDs, Vice Lords, Crips in it. They wouldn't have no Bloods, of course, because we the enemies. But they have any different mixture of different gangs that's in Minneapolis. As over North Side too, it's the same thing. It's like they got different cliques, which I always found that was weird. I always talk to people. I was like, "What do y'all do when y'all go to prison?"
Right, right.
Because ain't no cliques in prison. You gotta be from
Yeah.
this particular. And if you and over north, it's like people be in different cliques, but they be the same gang. So they be like, you got a dude from such and such clique and another nigga from such and such clique, but they both GDs or they both Blackstones, but they're in rival cliques. So I always wonder, like, I never understood that. I'm like, how you join a gang, then join a clique that beats with a person in your gang that you supposed to be. So I never got that. I never understood that. But it's like that up in Minneapolis right now. It's like where it's so
Well,
distorted like that.
If it ain't
well,
if it ain't that, it's a money situation. It gotta be like now, like that's the thing too. Like I'm not against nobody making the bread. Like I say, a lot of shit up here be over real spilled blood. Like no matter what, if family or not, or just shice, man. Like we can do the whole, legs in the bucket thing up here. We real in the city, man. We try to pull each other down at the same time, man. Like we'll love to see somebody come up, but once they come up, you got people that's gonna really try to turn them down, man, and it hurts me. Cause we a city that really like we love to unify with each other. Even if we out of town, we could be out of town. Like we'll handle that when we get back home. But you know what I'm saying? While we here,
Yeah, I
he
wish
could.
that was my state. We some haters in
Yeah, like
Minnesota.
we, like sometimes
Like,
it'll make me
that's
mad up here because a lot of shit really be like, dude, y'all, it's not necessary, man, for y'all. What are y'all really? What's the real problem? And honestly, I like to say like even like rest in peace, Breonna Taylor, man. When that happened, like we did have some people really calm down and like hey, nah, like none of that right now, hey,
mhm,
but.
as it
It's
should be.
sometimes like I love where I'm from. I love my home, Louisville, Kentucky. But it's crazy up here. It makes me laugh sometimes, man. It really do. But one thing I can say though, we will stick together when somebody comes to trying to step on us as one. Like none of that, man.
right, right. And I think what we should do, we should have a part two to this. You know what I'm saying? So we should do this again. And
Yeah, for
righteous,
sure.
you do music. I'm gonna ask y'all to give y'all shots out to your people and give them your things, man, so we can get the people over there to listen to y'all stuff. But we need to do a part two, man. And,
For
Yes,
and
sir.
y'all get at me and let me know a good day for y'all. So when y'all ready to do part two to this, and maybe we can add a home girl or somebody to it, just to get a perspective on everybody every way. But
And I got man. Sorry to interrupt you. Peace and love, my homegirl, YG Nini. She'd have
sure.
loved to be on this podcast. Like with you. Like somebody from the land as true as you. You know what I'm saying? She was murdered last year,
Sorry to hear that,
July
homie.
last year. You know what I'm saying? But I just thought about it when you said homegirl, because that would be a homegirl I would have invited
Leaning
on here
love it.
within a
Leaning
quick. She'd
love
be out
it.
here right now. I mean,
Right.
like when I say she is true as any homie, man, like she was true, like true, and God rest her soul. But I know she would love to meet you, man, for real, for real. So
Yeah, we gonna
PIL
do
wise,
that,
let me
man.
know.
Yo, homie,
Man,
just lost two, big homie. Real talk, gangsta.
right.
Yo, big homie, and PIL, my big bro, DCK, man, for real.
Yes, sir. PIL,
Okay.
DCK, PIL play, man. PIL, all the fallen soldiers that we lost to all of this stuff, all the senselessness. You know what I'm saying? It's peace and love to everybody. Sure.
Right.
Fuck the
And
gentrification, man.
yes. And where can we find your music at, Righteous?
Man, you can find my music on Apple Music /Righteous with two S's. YouTube /Righteous the Don.
Okay.
Instagram, everything _righteous. SoundCloud, MME Righteous. There we can find all my stuff at. I'm getting ready to drop a new
Fire,
project
too.
called Righteous Life,
All right.
October. So I'm finalizing that. So trying to get to it, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
make
most definitely, homie. Yes, we gonna keep pushing that, man. And you know what I'm saying? You already know what we doing, man. We gotta get
Already.
you back on your production shit, man. Like we said
Yeah.
we gonna do. But yeah, man, it's through the drama podcast, man. And we gonna have a part 2 with the homies again, man. Y'all be safe, man, and y'all watch out for these haters.
yes,
Show.
sir, yes, sir.
Stay safe, stay dangerous, stay love, man.
Yes,
Stay love,
sir.
man.
Gone.